Hi guys, welcome. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create this mini Easter little trinket basket using Ganchillo's 4mm cotton string. You will need an 8mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle, and some scissors. So if you have those items, let's get started. We are going to start by creating a magic ring. And after this, we are going to do 6 single crochets into the magic ring. To complete a single crochet, we're going to insert the hook with the long end. We're going to leave the short end, put it to the side. We're going to insert the hook, yarn over, pull a loop. Now there's 2 on your hook. Then we're going to yarn over one more time and pull it through both. That is your first single crochet. Let's do that again. Okay, we're going to insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 2. Yarn over, pull through those 2. That is your second single crochet. So we're going to do that until we have a total of 6. So I did 2, so 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if you need to rewind this, rewatch on how to create that single crochet, you can do so. And I also have another tutorial on how to do that. Okay, so when we have 6 on our hook, you can count them by each single crochet this way or by counting your V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we need to close the hole. So to do that, we're going to just tighten it. The small tail, we'll just pull it and it'll close up the hole for us. And now we can stitch into that top chain of that round. So the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll insert to slip stitch. We insert our hook. Sometimes this could be the tricky part. Enter the hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through again. And this is a slip stitch. And then we chain 1. Now we need to do 12 single crochets all the way around. So to do that, we're going to do 2 into the same stitch and 2 into each stitch around. So 2 single crochets into that same stitch. And then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and so forth. So with this tail, if you're a very beginner, you can just leave this to the back and you can weave this in later at the end. But if not, if you're a little more advanced, you could drag it with you like I am, so then I can just snip it and I don't have to do the weave-in process. So completely up to you. So we're just going to continue with doing 2 single crochets into each stitch until you have a total of 12 single crochets all the way around. So it looks like that, 2, 2, and then we're going to do 2 into each one. Okay, now that we finished those 12 single crochets all the way around, we are going to slip stitch into the top stitch of the first round, which is right here. So in here, we're going to insert the hook, yarn over, pull that cord, and then pull through again, and then chain 1. And that's the end of round 2. So now to begin round 3, we are going to single crochet into the same stitch. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And repeat that again. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. Complete that pattern until this side, and then I'll meet back with you. Okay, now that you did the pattern 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, you should have a total of 18 single crochets all the way around, and we're going to join by slip stitching in the first stitch of that round, which is right here. So we're going to insert the hook, yarn over, pull through that one, and pull through the next one, and then chain 1. That is the end of row 3, and we're going to begin round 4. So for round 4, we're going to create a single crochet into the same stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into that third stitch. So this is going to be the pattern for round 4. It's going to be 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and continue that all the way around till we get over here. Okay, now that we finished round 4, you should have a total of 27 single crochets all the way around. And then we could join by slip stitching into that first chain, or that first stitch, I'm sorry, of that round, by slip stitching and then chain 1. So now for the 5th row, we are going to only work in the back loops only. Okay, so we're going to single crochet, not into the same one. This one's the same one, so not in here, but into this one right here. So insert your hook, yarn over, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those 2. See how we're only working in the back loop and not through both? Then we're going to do that the whole round, the whole row, back loops only. Okay, so single crochet into back loops only, because this is going to now create that bottom base. Okay, so let's continue single crochet back loops only all the way around, all the way to right here at the last stitch. So single crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you back right here. Okay, so now that I did that last single crochet right here, we are going to slip stitch into the first stitch of that round. So insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through both of those, and then chain 1. So we completed our 5th row. So for the 6th row, we are going to insert our hook into that same stitch and complete a single crochet. And now into the next stitch, and in each stitch around. So single crochet all the way around. Continue that until we get over here. So just single crochet, same pattern. Okay, now that we single crocheted all the way around for that 6th row, we're going to slip stitch again into the first stitch of that round, and then chain 1. Now we're done with row 6. So for row 7 and 8, it's going to be the same thing as row 6. So repeat that pattern, single crocheting into the same stitch, and then each stitch all the way around for 7 and 8. Okay, for 7 and 8. And after you're done with row 8, I will meet you back. Okay, now that we're finishing round 8, doing that last single crochet, then we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch of that round, and then we're just going to pull. And now we're going to grab our tapestry needle, insert that yarn through your tapestry needle, and now I'm going to seal this off. So I pull and tighten on this, and I'll go about 3 times in and out of the chains to the left. And then from the inside, I'm going to go through the stitches right here and go all the way down. I do 2 at a time because it's easier. So now that I dragged that down like that, I'm going to do it through the other 2 again. Like so. Bring it all the way down. And then I'm going to cut it right here. So I just like to tighten it, pull a little bit, and then I'm going to cut. And if you dragged this along like I did, the middle, you can go ahead and cut this too. Or weave it in if you need to. So now we had finished the basket portion for this basket. And now we just have to add in the ears. Okay, so now that we finished our bottom part of the basket, now we got to work on the ears. So we're going to have to cut 4 strands, approximately 6 feet of cord. And we're going to grab we're going to grab one side and kind of make a small loop, because then we're going to create a lark's head knot. So you kind of want to make this as long as the ear will be. So you kind of want to eyeball that. I like to leave a little extra because I'm going to use it to drag it down. So approximately, the small portion needs to be approximately, I'd say, about 8 inches. And now we're gonna fold that in half and we're gonna just adjust. So I start in the middle, well, next to the middle, right here. I will grab one. Okay, so with that first one that I grabbed and yanked through, we wanna make sure that the small tail, see how one's small and one's longer? We want the small one on the inside and the longer one on the outside. So we just need to make sure that the small one's on the inside. Then we're gonna grab that, open up a hole and fish all that cord through and then tighten. And in that same stitch, we're gonna go to the left of it, grab that other cord that we folded, drag that through, and make sure that the small side is also in the middle, okay? And then we're gonna wing that through, like so. This is called a lark's head knot. And then they should both be like this, with that small cord in the middle. It should look like this, okay? And now let me try to adjust my camera for you guys because this is gonna be the tricky part. So we're gonna need something kind of heavy to hold it. I'm just gonna use some pliers and I'm gonna show you, we are gonna need to create a square knot, okay? So let's start with the right side. The middle stays in the middle. So with the right side cord, we're gonna go over to the left side, hold the two middles in place, and with the left one, we're gonna come down on that right one, and still with the left one, we're gonna go under the two middle over to the right, and then pull that through, okay? And then we're gonna just tighten, like this, okay? Now we're gonna do the left. We're gonna go over to the right, and the right, we're gonna go down from that left one, under the two, over to the left. Okay, and pull it. So that is our first square knot. And now we're gonna just rotate. Now that we did the left, we're gonna start with the right. So with the right, go over. The left one, go down, over to the right side, and pull. Okay, and then tighten. And then we're going to do it from the left. From the left, go to the right, bring this down and over to the other side and pull. And make sure that these middles stay in between those because that's what's holding and tightening, okay? And as this starts to get longer, so you don't forget which side you're on, you see this, like, this lump right here? This tells you which way to start. So now we got to start from the right side. So the right side, go over to the left, go under and over to the other side and tighten. See, now the lump's on the left. So we're going to start on the left side. From the left, go over to the right one, go under, and then pull that one and tighten. See, now the lump is on the right. So now we're gonna just repeat. So these are cool little like guidelines as well. So continue that square knot. If you guys need to rewind this to get a better hang of it, you're free to do so. But we're just gonna do this until the ears get the desired length, and then we will attach it to the other side. Okay. So just continue doing those square knots till this gets long enough. Okay, so I finished doing my square knots. So the length for me is about 5 inches long that I created that one bunny ear. And I'm going to skip this chain right here, and I'm going to attach it to the next chain. Okay, to do that, I'm going to insert my hook and bring in the two middle ones first, okay? So I just wrap it around on my hook, drag those through, okay, leaving those in there, and then I'm gonna insert my hook again. I'm gonna grab that right side. This is gonna be tricky because we wanna make sure that we're holding close to it. See, I have that right. And you pull, so try to like adjust it to where it's tight onto the basket, and with that right one, I'm going to create a loop and drag that same cord through all the way and tighten it. And then run this through the back. These two middle ones I'm just going to leave right here for now. And I'm going to do the same thing with that left one into that same stitch. Okay, so insert your hook. Grab that loop. We're doing all this onto the same stitch. Make sure the ears are as tight as can be to the basket. We're going to do the same thing to create a loop and tighten. And now we're going to get our tapestry needle. These two longer ones, I pushed them to the back. What we're going to do is each of this middle stitches, we're going to add to our tapestry needle. Attach it to your tapestry needle. And we are just going to run this down some stitches because this middle one's not going nowhere, but we got to weave in that excess cord. So just run those two middle ones down like so. And then I did it to one, so I'm going to do it to the other, and then we will cut it. Okay, so now that we ran those down, we're just going to get closest to the stitch without cutting anything else and just cut those like so. So now those are hidden. See, they hide at the bottom. And now we're going to continue to do that with the other two. We are going to attach them to our tapestry needle and just weave those in and out and then down, just like we did this one, okay? So once I adjusted one tapestry needle, I'm going to just run it from the back to the inside because this knot is now secured. So you just want to run that through. We can run it through a couple more. I'll run it through this way. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to run it down a middle. Okay, now that we run that down, we are going to cut. So cut that off, and we're going to do the same thing with this left one, okay? So add your tapestry needle, weave it in and out a few times, and then bring it down the front all the way down. Okay, if you need to tighten this just to keep it tighter, just make sure you pull on that and tighten it before we start weaving in and out. Okay, so I'll go that one, and then I'll go to this one, and then I'll go inside one more, and then this one I'll just drag it in between these stitches down like I did the other ones, and then I'll cut. And then just cut that off. And we've completed one bunny ear, and we're gonna have to do the same to this side. So we are going to insert our hook into this stitch right here. This is our middle line, and we're gonna attach it to right here. So insert your hook and grab that cord and pull it through. You fish that through. We're gonna do the lark's head knot, so open and fish all the yarn through, and then tighten, making sure that the shorter tail is in the middle. And then do the same thing with the other cord, going into this very same stitch. So go into the same stitch, grab that other cord, fish it through, and then do the lark's head knot again, making sure that the short tail is in the middle. We're going to continue to do square knots, the same process that we did to the left ear. If you need to rewind how to do that, feel free to do so. So we're going to continue to make the square knots approximately 5 inches tall just like the other side, so that way both ears are even and they match. So continue to do the square knots until they are approximately 5 inches long. And then I'll meet you back when that's done. Okay, now that I made this 5 inches long, we're gonna curve it and attach it to this side right here, this stitch right here. Because if we go to this stitch, it's like too close. So we gotta go to this stitch. So we will insert it the same way that we did the left ear, okay? So we're gonna grab our hook, insert it through here, and grab those two middle cords first. Drag those through, okay? And then to the same stitch, let's grab the right cord, grab a little loop, leave a little length, pull it through, because we're gonna use this to make the loop, the lark's head knot. Make sure you have this closest to the basket, touching, pulling, and with that right cord, we're just creating a lark's head knot and tighten. That's sealing it to the basket. And then do the same with the left side. We're going to leave a little length, pull from like down here-ish, run that through. Make sure it's also as tight. See how it's pulling one side and it's like loose? So make sure I'm pulling on that tight part. Adjust it. And then complete that lark's head knot to tighten and seal that and keep it there so it doesn't move. Okay, with pulling. And then now we can just drag these, put your tapestry needle and run them down those stitches. Okay, so now that I adjusted my tapestry needle, I'm going to just grab that and run it down the middle, both of those middle cords, okay? Run that down the middle, and then do the same thing with this little run it down the middle as well. So basically what you did to the left ear, you do to the right ear. I don't have to cut this yet, I'll just leave them there. And now we just want to make sure you tighten these. Adjust your tapestry needle, weave those out and in a couple times, and also insert them through the middle. So I'm zigzagging in and out a couple times, and then doing the same thing, running this down the middle on the inside. Like so. Okay, and then I will do the same thing to this left one. Okay, so this left one, I'm just gonna zigzag just a few. Oops. I'll go in through this way. I'll go through the next one. And then I'll come down a stitch. And then I'll fish it down the middle. And then once you've done all that, you can cut all your excess strings off. And then we are done. So almost there. Okay, so I ran that through. Now I'm gonna cut all these little cords off. Closest to the basket, but without cutting anything else. Like that, and then okay, now you have finished your little Easter trinket basket, It should look like this. You can make them a variety of colors. I hope this was easy and simple for you to learn. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. It helps my small channel. I truly appreciate you. And now on to the next one.